right, Senator, you filed a delay into a fully functional act. What is that, and what's the status? And why did you do that?
Yeah, number one, I want to fully repeal Obamacare. I think we're going to have to. As this thing rolls out, we're going to continue to see the disaster that it is and the impact that it's having on people. But in the interim, we're having real people call us every day about how concerned they are about the impact this is having on them. And here's why. Next year, if they don't have health insurance that complies with Obamacare, the IRS is going to fine them. But the website they're supposed to go on to buy that insurance doesn't work. And so my bill is pretty straightforward. It's kind of a common sense thing. It just says that you can't start enforcing those fines on people until the website is fully functional. And I don't understand why, but the Democrats have opposed it. I guess I do understand why, and that is at this point they're against any changes to the law, even if the law is hurting people.
Well, it would seem to me that'd be quite reasonable if it's going to take 2 months to get it fully functional, from let's say October 1st to December 1st, to delay it for 2 months. But you're asking for a certification 6 months beyond. Is that right?
Right.
So I suspect the Democrats think that's unfair.
Well, but first of all, the reason why it has to be 6 months is because you want to make sure the website continues to work. I mean, you can probably get it to work for 1 day, but what if the next day it shuts down? So that's the thing we need to keep an eye on. They need to show that it is consistently operating. The other point I would make is that in the interim, people are not prevented or prohibited from signing up for insurance under the exchanges. If the website's working, they can sign up for it. They can sign up for it now. This doesn't prevent anyone from accessing the website. The only thing it says is if you can't get insurance because the website isn't working, you shouldn't be punished for that.
All right, so that means you don't pay the penalty. Have you taken a look at the legislation that Senator Mary Landrieu is talking about? She's talking about legislation to guarantee Americans can keep current insurance even if not comply with minimum standards under Obamacare. And, of course, I note that she's a Democrat. What about her bill?
Well, I think that's important, too. I filed a bill today with Senator Johnson that says pretty much the same thing. If you have existing coverage and you're happy with it, you're going to get to keep it. That was a fundamental promise that was made in order to get this law passed, and now that's being broken. And we're seeing that it wasn't an unintended consequence. It was an intended consequence. This was done on purpose because they want to undermine and gut the individual marketplace.
What I think President Obama said today, though, is that these insurance policies that are going away, that people are losing, are the ones for the underinsured. And it's sometimes like junk insurance policies, that no one is going to lose a good policy. Do you disagree with that?
First of all, I think people should be able to choose whatever policy makes sense for them. Again, if you pass the law that we're talking about, which says that no one who has existing coverage they're happy with will lose it, if you pass that bill, it doesn't prohibit anyone from getting a better plan. It just says that if you have a plan that you're happy with, you should be allowed to keep it. The president himself made that promise, and now that promise is being broken.
What if your plan doesn't provide hospitalization? Because even, at some point you might get hit by a car.
Well, again, I mean, that's not ideal for someone, but the choice is up to them. People should be able to buy any insurance plan that they can afford and want. It's up to individuals to decide what's best for them, not the government or President Obama.
I suspect, though, that if someone gets hit by a car and ends up in an emergency room without insurance, it somehow becomes an expense for the rest of us, no?
Well, again, that needs to be up to the individual to choose what kind of insurance plan they have. The alternative is a lot of people now will just go uninsured. They'll just pay the fine and they'll still be uninsured because they cannot afford the alternative plans that are being mandated now under Obamacare.
Well, for the life of me, I can't figure out if a young person trying to decide between health insurance and an iPhone, chances are that young person's going to go for an iPhone. At least that's what I think. And we need the young people to finance it. So I'm a little bit curious where we're getting this money.
Well, again, I think that's the other part of Obamacare we don't know the answer to yet. It's going to blow up the deficit. It's going to add to the national debt. And it's going to pass costs on to people from all walks of life, especially through higher premiums. Did you hear Secretary Sebelius testify today? And if so, what did you think? Well, her testimony was interesting because as she was testifying, the website itself crashed. I think she tried to take responsibility, but at the end of the day, this is inexplicable to me. This was supposed to be the easy part of the law, and in fact, it's the most complicated part of it, and that's unfortunate because if they can't get a website to work in the 21st century, how are they going to get something as complicated as health insurance to work? What's the reaction among Democratic senators right now about Obamacare, sort of behind the scenes? Are they saying anything to you? I think they're concerned and they're very nervous about it, and you're starting to see evidence of that by some of the ideas that some of them are starting to propose. Like Senator Landrieu? That's right. That's right. Is she going to get any Democrats to join along with her? Well, we'll see. I think you're going to see a growing number of Democrats calling for changes to Obamacare because of the impact this is having on people. Senator, thank you for talking to us. Thank you, sir. Thank you.